So today you're going to be learning about the first 5 rules on your comma cheat sheet that you should have in front of you. And you're going to be learning when to insert commas in your own writing. So as you're learning the lessons about the different rules for this comma cheat sheet, you're going to insert the commas where you think they belong. So our first rule is that we want to use a comma to separate 3 or more items in a list. So anytime we're listing things in our writing, we're going to use commas. So go ahead and take a second and put the commas in this sentence below where you think they belong. Miss Anderson, Mr. Mayday, Mrs. Barbera, and Mrs. Cook are all teachers on Team Pegasus. So since we have, these are the items in our list, Miss Anderson, Mr. Mayday, Mrs. Barbera, and Mrs. Cook, we need a comma after each one. Okay? So that's your first rule. Your second rule is to separate equal adjectives. Adjectives are considered equal when the comma between them could be written as and. So if we look at these 2 sentences, Kate and Emerson are friendly, polite students. See if you can point out the adjectives. Friendly, polite. Now we could put a comma here, and that comma could be replaced with the word and. Kate and Emerson are friendly and polite students, but instead we just use a comma. So try the second one. So here's our adjectives: delicious, mouth-watering, describing the cupcake. So we put a comma here because we could replace that with the word and. Your third rule is that you need a comma before the conjunction in a compound sentence. Okay? So, for example, Nick plays football and Joe plays hockey. A compound sentence is when we have 2 independent clauses that could stand alone. So Nick plays football could stand alone as a sentence, and Joe plays hockey could stand alone as a sentence. So we need a comma before the conjunction, which is this word. And our conjunctions are and, but, or, nor, either. Okay, so we want to have a comma before the conjunction in the compound sentence. So the comma is going to go right here. Nick plays football, comma, and Joe plays hockey. See if you can figure out where you'd put the comma in this second compound sentence. First, you want to find the 2 independent clauses. So Gemma wanted to go to Starbucks. That could stand alone as its own sentence. Donnie didn't feel like it. That could stand alone as its own sentence. So figure out where a comma might go. But is our conjunction. So it's going to go before the conjunction in a compound sentence. Okay? Rule number 4 is that we need a comma after introductory words, clauses, and phrases. Okay? So an introductory phrase comes at the beginning and might explain where, when, how, and if taken out, a full sentence would remain. So let's look at this one. After the Patriots game, we went out for pizza. Okay? Here's my introductory phrase, okay? Because we went out for pizza could stand alone as a sentence. So I need a comma after the Patriots game. Okay? This is our introductory phrase that tells us when. After the Patriots game, comma, we went out for pizza. How about our second one? See if you can figure out what the introductory phrase or word is. If you said yes, then yes. Yes is our introductory phrase, okay, or word, and we need a comma after it. Okay? And then our last rule of this set of 5 is to set off a phrase that interrupts the flow of thought in a sentence, and I like to call that an interrupter. Okay? Interrupters can be taken out of our sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. Often we see these phrases as interrupters. On the other hand, nonetheless, therefore, for example. Okay, now, anytime you see the words to set off, that's going to mean that if there's a comma, if there is an interrupter in the middle of the sentence, we're going to need a comma on either side of the word or phrase. So in this example, Mom nonetheless told me I wasn't allowed to go to the mall. Our interrupter is going to be nonetheless, because if we took that out, Mom told me I wasn't allowed to go to the mall, still makes sense. So we need to set it off from the rest of the sentence by inserting 2 commas. Okay? So those are your first 5 rules on the cheat sheet, and we'll do the second 5 next time.